And welcome to the WBT Wealth, Business, and Taxes podcast. I'm Michael Lodge. I'm the host. I'm here. It's been a few days since I have been online, or not online, but I produced a podcast. And I noticed that I'm getting a habit of not doing that. It's because I get so busy with mediations and so busy with advising clients and stuff that I forget to sit down and do a podcast. So today, I don't have an appointment until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm going to sit down and you and I, we're going to have a talk. And it may be a talk that you don't even want to listen to, which is fine. I understand. But we're going to talk today about the politics that is going on and how it affects our pocketbook, you and I, the way that we are going to be able to spend our money, the way that we are going to be able to plan for the future. Because right now we're kind of in limbo because there is a presidential election going on. And this presidential time period, it's dirty, rotten politics. It's what it's all about. So we have to stop and we have to take a look at the history of what has happened and where we are today. Now, and that is the problem with most Americans today, is that they have forgotten to really understand the history of this nation and what has happened in the last 20 years to where we are today. And what really upsets me is that we have so many people out there on the streets marching and chanting and everything, but they have no idea, they have no clue as to what has happened in the past. They're just out there chanting and chanting, not really thinking about what they're doing. And you can kind of tell that when you hear some of these interviews with these people of why are you there, and they can't really tell you. I'm here for injustice. Okay, tell me specifically what injustice. Well, and they go off onto this tangent because they've all been rehearsed the lines to say. But not one of them have really taken the time to think about this whole situation of where we are today. They're living their lives. They want to be part of a movement, but they don't know why they're part of that movement. Now, they say injustice, but the problem is that the story of injustice over the last few months has truly changed. It went from a fight for injustice to now it is just a plain old fight where they want to destroy. There is no more peaceful demonstrations. That's gone to the wayside because individuals have, within this peaceful march, have decided to let these people in so that they make a statement. Well, the statement is, when we see these people tearing down and burning up and hitting and assaulting and everything, this is what we think of. We think of ISIS. Now, a lot of you may not even know who ISIS is because you were just children during that time. ISIS was a pure evil organization who went in just as what you're doing now, tearing down statues, tearing down churches, attacking Christians. They did exactly the same thing. They were terrorists. And you forget that you forget about the history because you were never taught the history. And that is the biggest problem in the American schools today, is that kids are not taught true history. They're taught ideology instead of history. People are going out and calling people Nazis when they don't even know what a Nazi is. They have no idea of what happened during that time period. I do, because my father lived through it. My family lived through it. We had a Hitler, we had a dictator who was literally trying to destroy the Jews and destroy them, wipe them off the planet. And yet you call Americans who are trying to live every single day and keep this nation a democracy, you call them Nazis. If they don't agree with what you say, you call them Nazis, and you have no idea what a Nazi is. I digressed. That was not what I wanted to start today out, but it was on my heart and I said it. And now we're going to talk about the politics and economics. I want to go back a few years as we start this conversation. Some of it started in the Bush administration because at that time he really did not have a clear economic policy. Bush's whole focus at that time was about terrorism because we had been attacked, 9/11. They had come in, they had destroyed 2 buildings by running a plane into it in an extreme Islamic fashion. And that's when we first started to discuss this whole thing about extremism, which is exactly what we're seeing now on the streets of America. We're seeing extremism. So as we begin, 9/11 was a terrible situation that created a whole bunch of havoc and chaos in this nation. And some of you probably can't even remember the fact that on various days we had various color coding. And that color coding told us how big of a threat it was for that day. We lived through that. Was it going to be orange today? Was it going to be green? What was it going to be for that day? What threat was coming our way? We had to live with it every single day. So they coded these threats of high and low and middle and between, of a possibility that America could be attacked again that day. So the economy was kind of running by itself. It had no really clear direction from the president's administration because it was so focused on this terror issue that we were attacked with. And then came along Obama. And Obama wanted to push this huge health care plan through the Congress and the Senate. And he made some very specific statements that the mandate was not a tax. And then it went to the Supreme Court and it became a tax. And that tax was on every single person's income tax returns. You had to report whether or not you had insurance or not. If you didn't have it, if you couldn't show it, you were taxed. And during that same period of time, I remember very clearly, I was opening up an office in Orlando, Florida. So I was a member of 2 Chamber of Commerce, one in Orlando and the other one in Los Angeles. And I remember sitting in the chamber meeting. We were discussing everything that was going on in the community. We were getting updates. And the whole conclusion of everything was that business was on hold. And the reason why we were on hold, because we didn't know what Obama was going to do next. What mandate, what new tax, what new red tape, what new employment presidential pen. Remember, he said he had the pen and he had a cell phone and he was going to use it, and he did. But we didn't know what he was going to do next to small business. So everybody stopped hiring. Everybody stopped growing their business. They said, let's be conservative and let's just keep our businesses as they are because we don't know what's going to hit us next. There was more reporting under Obama. There was more presidential decrees that were saying that if you were a executive and you worked overtime, then you were going to be paid for that overtime. And it went on and on and on. We never knew what person we were going to hire, that more new taxes, more new red tape, more new hindrance was going to come on to our small businesses. So we stopped. We froze. We paused. 8 years. The economy did not grow. There was a lot more into it besides just us pausing as businesses, but that was a good portion of it. By the way, if you also go back and look at the years of Bush, at the very end there, people got very, very greedy, and they were giving out these loans that no one should have had those loans because they could not afford those loans. And we had a whole bunch of defaults on and repossessions of homes. It was a mess. It was a true mess because people took their eye off the ball on the economy and on businesses and on the home mortgage markets that the country failed. And banks were destroyed and people were sued and people lost their homes and banks in New York completely went out of business. They went bankrupt. So we had this period of time during the Obama administration where he was literally looking at the socialist point of view of running a country, but he was not looking at it in the way that America actually runs its country and the way that we run our businesses. See, the biggest word that you're going to hear, and the most important word that is we should be thinking about and focused about and asking ourselves the question, do we have the confidence in our president to help small businesses, to help families, to help people grow? That is the question. Under the Obama administration, we had no confidence. We had literally gotten into a point where, since we could not trust the Obama administration and what he was actually trying to do, because we had no idea what he was trying to do except move it really far to the left. And Americans were left there in the cold. Our businesses were left there in the cold, not knowing. We had no confidence, zero confidence in what was going to happen next. When we have no confidence, it's very difficult to make decisions. So we freeze, we pause, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And people begin to get laid off. Businesses begin moving their stuff overseas because they thought, well, I don't have to deal with the American taxation system and the red tape and everything else that hinders small business every single day. So they start moving things over to the Philippines and China and all these other places. That really started happening in the Bush administration. I know I was part of it. I was going over to China and Taiwan and in Hong Kong and Singapore and Malaysia, opening up these plants. Because we did not have any confidence of what was going on in the United States. We had a much bigger pool of individuals in China that worked for pennies on the dollar almost, with no taxation. So we were really in a situation where we had no confidence. I tell you, confidence is the most important thing. If you're looking at the elections now, you must ask yourself which of the individuals, Trump or Biden, can instill confidence in the business community. Well, if you are talking about raising taxes, there's no confidence there that people are going to be able to survive if taxes are going up. And let me tell you, when they say they're going to tax just the millionaires, it never happened that way. If you look at the Obama administration, he said it was only going to affect the millionaires. No, it affected every single American in this great country. Because we all have different income levels. We all have different things going on in our life. We are selling houses. We're buying houses. We're doing all these different things. But you see, when you have a Democratic president like Obama, he doesn't look at it that way. He doesn't care. All he cares is how much money can I put into the tax coffers to pay for the stuff that we need to spend on. Remember this. This is a good economic lesson for you. In the United States government, and even in state governments, if you have a budget of $100,000, as an example, if you have a budget of $100,000, if you do not spend all that money, it's going to be very difficult for you to get the $100,000 next year or to ask for more. So every bit of these budgets are spent. Not trying to save you any money as the taxpayer. They're trying to spend that money so that they can have more power. The more spending power they have, the more important they are. So we have to ask ourselves today, when we are thinking about who we're going to vote for, the question has got to be asked, which one of these individuals can create a confidence in the United States, in the American people, American business, that can make us grow, that can make us stronger, that can make our families financially secure, who can create a vibrant economy where we can go out and we can begin buying homes, we can begin buying the new sofa or the new refrigerator for the kitchen. If we don't have the confidence on what's going to happen, it stops spending, even in us. Because we have a budget. We have a different type of budget. We don't have a government budget where we have to spend everything. Our budgets on our personal side is, okay, do I have enough money that's going to pay the federal and state taxes, my property taxes, to provide for my family, education, transportation, the fuel costs? Because you see, everything that what I just mentioned has to do with taxation. And that taxation means that if the taxes go up, that means that products go up. It means that your income taxes go up. Don't even believe what they say about the millionaires and what they're going to pay, what they're going to tax them on, because that millionaire means you and me. That means you and me. It never works out to what they say, because what they say is basically a lie. Because a millionaire could be anybody. It could be you at $40,000 a year. It could be you, based upon how the tax code is written. So it becomes a situation where, as we are thinking about who we're going to vote for president, we have to identify which one of those individuals is going to help you and me. I don't care about helping the government anymore, because they have so much billions and trillions of dollars that they're spending. They have enough money. But we as Americans, we don't have that money. We don't have that luxury. We can't go out and tax our grandmother and get some more money in, or tax our friend down the street and get more money in. No, we have to work hard for our money, and we do it every single day. But now it's time for us to question the fact that which one of these candidates is going to be an economic benefit to me. Forget about COVID. Forget about that. That is a virus. It's going to be here forever and ever. Just like the cold is here forever and ever. The flu is here. This is a virus. It floats from person to person, and you have no control over it. The only way that you have control over it is to build up your immune systems and do what is healthy for you. At some point in time, we're going to get that virus. I'm going to get that virus. I might even have had that virus and I don't know about it. But the main point of this election should be really, do we have the confidence in the individual that we're going to vote for, that he will help our economic level, our economic stress? Because we do have economic stress, especially after this COVID. The economy, I tell you, if you don't have a good leader, if that leader does not understand how the economy works, how businesses work, how family lives work, how our economics work within our own families, a Democrat, a politician, a Republican, who has never run anything, who has never created anything, who has never achieved anything except being a politician, who has never signed employee checks, who have never had to pay those employment tax payments to the federal and state governments, they don't understand. That politician has no idea what he's doing when it comes to the economy. There has got to be some type of leadership where someone has done that and someone has built something, someone has achieved something, someone who knows the economy. Politicians have no idea or anything about the economy. They make their decisions not based on economic facts and data. They make it on what's politically best for them. So we need someone in there that has a good team of economic advisors and people who know their stuff in the world of business and finance. I tell you, I'm going to say this over and over and over again. The economy and our personal finances are so important in this election. I remember, and I never want to have to go through this again, when we had this downturn in the economy and people were losing their houses, people were coming into my office for 3 years. The first year, they had made all these investments in these houses, so they were coming to us saying, how can you help me in my financials? Can you help me get this loan? Then the second year, they were coming to me and saying, we're losing our house. How do we take care of it tax-wise? The third year, they were coming in and they were getting divorces because the biggest stress on any kind of marriage or relationship is finances. And if you don't have your finances under control, it's going to break down. It's going to break down the marriage. I even see it today as I do divorce mediation. Economic plays a big part in this. People begin to lose trust in each other. They begin to say words that they cannot take back. And it goes from one step to the next step to the next step, and then finally they come in for divorce. But we had 3 steps. People buying the house, then people losing the house, and then people going through a divorce. That was the economic downturn in the economy when Obama first took office. It wasn't a pleasant situation. But for those of you, I really want you to go back and remember those days when we had no economic direction. The problem with politicians, you see, they think that if you throw money at a problem, it's going to go away. Let's just throw money at it. Come on. It's not our money to worry about. We just got it. We just got a whole bunch of money in the tax coffers. Let's just spend it. Let's just throw money at a problem. But they never think about the problem itself and what are the issues of the problem. What's creating the problem? And if you don't understand that process, you are going to be duped every single time, and we are going to owe a lot of taxes, and the economy is going to stall again. We can no longer afford that type of trip down memory lane. It's no fun. I've been there. I've been through 3 depressions now. 3 economic recessions, and I'm telling you, it's no fun. People losing the money that they had put in their 401k plans. And I'm guaranteeing what's going to happen. Those of you that have 401k plans at the moment, if you vote a person in that has no idea of how to run the economy, and taxes are going to go up, confidence is going to go dipping way down, and your 401k plan is going to lose a whole bunch of money. I remember in the days that President Obama was president. And we have these downturns in the economy. A lot of people lost a good portion of their retirement plans. And we've had a really good economic time. Your 401k plans during the last 4 years, has done very well. I look at my investment account every single day, and I'm telling you, I am making money every single day. But I know that if we put somebody in office, and the president, who doesn't understand the American people, who does not understand business and the economics of business, and he begins to say, I'm going to raise your taxes. Biden has already made that pledge to you. He is going to raise your taxes. He said it. I'm not going to lower your taxes. I'm going to raise your taxes. Play that in your mind over and over and over again. So the question really becomes a very important one, and that is, the person that you put into the chair of the presidency in the White House, in the Oval Office, what does he know about building or managing anything? Has he been a politician all of his life, and he's been spending your money and my money every single day? He gets paid when you are in a depression or you've lost your job and because of the economy and because of COVID, he still gets his paycheck. Yeah, Biden retired. He's still getting his paycheck. Kamala Harris, she gets her paycheck. Donald Trump, he's donated his paycheck. He doesn't get paid. Where is your confidence in the economy based upon the individual that you're voting for president? Because I'm telling you, when businesses stall and people can't find work and they're only working part-time and they have to take jobs that are lower than what they ever worked before, people who are making $40 an hour all of a sudden had to go down to a $15 an hour job. I remember those days very well. The economy could not grow. People had to take whatever job that they could, and sometimes they had to take 3 and 4 jobs to survive within the Obama administration. Remember those days. Remember that. Remember it. Remember it. Because it's going to repeat itself if you don't put somebody in the White House that understands the economics of this great country. Confidence, remember that word. What is the confidence that you have that the individual that you're placing in that office is going to be able to create a solid, strong, confident, vibrant economy for the American people, for you and me? Listen, if you want to have a chat on this, or if you want to ask me any business question, I'll take any business question. Send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Ask a question. I'll be more than happy to answer. Listen, people, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to think about. November's almost here. Don't vote down political party lines. Don't do that. Because your party may be wrong. Your candidate may be wrong. Your candidate may do more damage to this nation than ever before because he has no idea what he's doing. Think about it. Pray about it. Talk to people about it. I love America, don't you? I love this country. I live in Palm Beach, California. I moved here last July. And I tell you, it's been the best experience that I've had in a while. A little bit of frustrations because as soon as I got here, what happened? Everything went into lockdown. So, I'm just now beginning to go out and explore. I love exploring. And I have the whole East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast all my life. Now I'm on the East Coast. Now I can explore here. I have been down from the Mexican border all the way up into Canada. So I've seen everything in between. I moved to the East Coast, so now I've got from Florida all the way up to the border of Canada again. I have already traveled several times by car across the nation from South Carolina to Los Angeles. I've done it several times. I've listened to the people. I've talked to the people along the way. I love this nation, I tell you. You guys are amazing. I have heard so many amazing stories from you, and I every time I listen to them, I get goosebumps because I say, gosh, look at there's that success again. Americans have this drive that they want to be somebody, do something, build something, achieve something. That's the American way here. That's why so many people from around the world are waiting in line by the millions to get into the United States. I love America. Everybody go out and have a great day. Again, if you have any questions, send me a text at 818-252-5682. I'll be more than willing to answer any kind of business question that you may have. At least I will try and answer them. I've been around the block in business, so I kind of know a little bit about business. Since 1984, I've had my firm going. So let's talk. But I really want you to think about your vote. Think about that vote, that single vote that you're going to cast, how it's going to affect you. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you very soon. God bless. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. Join me on my website at www.lodge.co.com. Talk with you soon. God bless.